future we can adopt. And also, I've mentioned to our colleagues before, but we will be losing our Master Board certification come 2019, and I hope that we affirm an effort to jointly go through professional development with the New Jersey school boards. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Huber, legislative?
All right. While there isn't anything that's come across as a brand new approved law that I know of that I can find, there are a number of things being proposed by various committees that are coming up the pike and being considered that I think that the board should be aware of, even though they're not a done deal yet. And I'm just going to run through them very quickly, and if anybody has questions about this stuff later, I can give you more information. There's a bill concerning recruiting male minority teachers. There's a bill concerning EpiPen administration by bus drivers, and forming a new anti-bullying task force, sharing school maps with law enforcement. That would be the schools would provide blueprints of schools and maps of the schools to the local law enforcement. Mandatory eye exams for children under 6. Nepotism policies. Promoting backpack safety, that has to do with health impact of heavy backpacks. They have a Recognizing Support Staff Day. Promoting apprenticeships, which I think we'll be very interested in. Health phys ed endorsement requirement. This one has to do with having a special endorsement on teaching requirements for phys ed teachers for kindergarten through 6. LGBT instruction in middle school and high school. Career and Technical Education Scholar Awards. Pupil transportation contracts. This would involve the ability, a requirement to be in transportation contracts where if the management of the transportation company allowed a driver who they had been notified is no longer authorized to operate, any more than 24 hours after that notification, the contract can be broken. Apprentice pilot program, I think I already did that one. A STEM grant program. A Deaf Students Bill of Rights. And Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officers qualifications they're reviewing. And that's it for now. If you have any questions about any of that stuff, just ask.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Technology oversight?
We have not had a meeting, but hopefully in January with our new person.
The Township Joint Committee, Will?
I'm a little confused as where to go in terms of direction. I did touch base with most everybody regarding the Walsh property because I think that's a good direction to go. However, I do not hear from everybody, and I did talk to the Friends of Walsh prior to confusion on the board level. So is there any direction that I should go in particular with the council liaison relations?
I think that with the new board in January, we probably need to have a discussion with the 2 new board members that will be joining the board. Also, I feel like the board as a whole right now, the input that I got from the board was that purely what we were going to be doing with them were going to be information, getting information from them, but not giving them anything as far as what we're looking for out of the Walsh property. The only thing that we've heard so far that you've given was about insurance, and I think that there was a discussion with prior boards that that prior boards would not be covering the insurance because we could not do that. So I'm not really sure what else they're looking for.
Prior to approaching everybody, I was with Councilman Signorino and Kerry O'Brien from the Friends of Walsh, and jointly we agreed on having an agenda prior to establishing any relations further, because it would just make it easier to meet instead of going there blindly. So, still a
Who
little
agreed
lost.
on an agenda? I'm sorry. The town council, it was Mr. Signorino speaking for the council, and,
Well, just as much as he's a liaison from the council, I'm a liaison from the board. Mr. O'Brien was a liaison, well, not liaison, I meant with the committee on, with the Friends of Walsh on another matter, but I just happened to be there. However, it just made sense to have somewhat of an idea of what to discuss in order to get information, so that's why I reached out to.
well, I guess I was thinking that they had reached out to us.
No, but I think it's important and imperative to know what a joint property with the council has to offer. Because I don't know if anybody that's on this current board truly has an understanding of what the Friends of Walsh are doing, will be doing, and how they are stewarding a property that we own.
And I think that was the directive, is for you to get the information from them of exactly about what they're doing, but that we did not have any more information to provide them as far as the board, because when no one's, we've heard nothing from them other than about the insurance, which when they researched back, they were told that we were not able to do that as far as pick up the cost of the insurance, because they really needed to be covered under an umbrella policy. Is that right?
No, basically, there's been a lot of discussions over the last few years when the Friends of Walsh organized, and because prior to their organization, if my memory serves me correctly, the board and the council were attempting to get the county freeholders to take over that land and use it as some kind of a recreation site up county. Friends of Walsh came into existence, and they wanted to become the stewards of the property and try to restore the farmstead to its former state of use. And so they set about trying to get grants and trying to delineate the work that was going to need to be done and things like that. The township, as I recall, maintained most of the properties there as far as mowing and whatever else needed to be done in order to maintain those things. The board really had nothing to do with it. So there had been discussions with the Friends of Walsh to provide educational opportunities for students. There were some meetings to that effect, but nothing came to fruition. So is there potential? There possibly could be, but that would need to come from, if you're going to use it for students, it needs to come from the administration and discussions with the administration.
Sure, I understand that, thank you.
That's really
Furthermore, if I went to the meeting to try to get facts, I'd be going on my own thoughts, which is why I'm reaching out to people. If you want me to find out facts, please let me know what facts you'd like me to find out.
Well, then maybe at this point, we should just suspend it and not do anything until maybe the next board, if there's other people that are more interested in or have more input to it than what we have right now.
Okay?
Okay? CASA, Mr. Huber.
All right, I don't have a report on that. However, I would like to say that CASA in the last few years has grown into a direction where they're on the verge of being very effective at their purpose. And if anybody's interested in taking the liaison position over next year, I'm more than happy to talk to them about it, let them know what's going on with CASA so that they can, see the value in it. It's a very rewarding and worthwhile endeavor.
Well, thank you for your time on CASA. I know you put a lot of time into that committee. Thank you very much. Old business? Anybody have any old business?
Just
Mr.
real
Drew?
quickly, something that wasn't mentioned. We held, or an event was held with the Rotary, holiday event, Rotary and special education students and quite a few of our administrators. Superintendent was there, Director of Education, and all of the principals who were here. And I really think it's just a super successful thing. The kids lead each other to a large degree, and if it was the kind of thing probably should have been mentioned in one of the reports, but boy, that's a heartwarming thing.
Yeah, that was also partnered with the Rotary. Dr. McQuaid, can you
Yeah.
speak briefly about that?
Sure, yeah, it was partnered with the Rotary. It definitely has expanded over the past several years, so we're excited that it did reach about close to 80 children, which is awesome. The other thing I think that was really worthwhile is we started last year having our high school students help to become a part of it. So students that participated with the Rotary, maybe in elementary school, now are giving back by running activities and pretty much helping to greet. They run a music station and arts and crafts area. Students really benefited from it.
Could you explain
Socially.
exactly what it was?
Sure. So it's basically a holiday event, if you will. And students, it's really more to work on both social skills with interacting with one another. The Rotary provides gifts to every student, so the students have an opportunity to open gifts. There is a special guest appearance with Santa Claus, which I must say the kids get very, very excited about. The Rotary does provide lunch for the students, so the students are also working on, conversation skills amongst one another. They get to mix with students, because when students are in some of our self-contained programs, they may not necessarily be in their neighborhood school or friends that they may have seen in another program in another school. So all of the elementary schools come together at the same time. And that includes our students with autism, our multiply disabled classes, our learning and language disabilities classes. They're all there together. And then, like I said, they break out because as students are receiving their gifts, so that there's not downtime, and so we're maximizing the whole time they're there. That's when the high school students run these stations, if you will, that the students go around to. So if there's students that for instance, we have a student that is at the high school that is very good at guitar, and he has played some guitar at the different schools. So he runs a station where he is playing the guitar, singing holiday tunes, and there is one of our students in the high school is singing. So, and the kids participate in almost a sing-along. So it really is a nice event. It's really, really great. And I know that the parents and the feedback from students, it's all positive. It's been a really positive
And the
event.
magician.
Oh, I forgot about the magician. How could I
Yeah, wonder
forget?
who that was.
Yes, and the Rotary also sponsors a magician that comes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Was it Dave?
Was it Dave?
No, it's not David Crucero. It's someone that
he's
comes
so
on a
good.
cruise, off of a cruise ship. They book him like a year
Oh,
in
wow.
advance to come. Yeah, and the kids really, really enjoy.
What was the name of the event? I missed what Steve said.
We call it the Rotary Holiday Event.
Oh.
It used to be a town tavern. It started before I was here, but we've expanded it because Town Tavern, as many of you know, is very small. We couldn't reach as many children, so the Rotary asked if we would open it up. I must say thank you to also the rec center, because the recreation center building allowed us to use their facility in order to hold, close to 100
Nice.
people.
Good.
And our buildings and grounds maintenance men went over, helped to set it up, so it really was a great
A lot of people.
It's a collaborative event.
collaborative event.
Great.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Thank you for bringing that up,
Yeah,
Steve.
so thank you, Mr. Joe.
Anything else under old business?
Seeing none, like to close old business.
New business.
All right, we have a couple of resolutions. I'd like to read them.
Go right
Mrs.
ahead.
Van Dyke. As you know, we have Mr. Huber's final board meeting tonight, as well as Mr. Bailey, who's unable to attend due to a prior commitment. So we have a few resolutions to read, as well as a nice plaque to give out. So whereas Mr. Glenn Huber has served as a prominent member of the West Milford Township Board of Education from January 2016 until December 2018, and whereas Mr. Huber has diligently served on and chaired the policy committee and was a liaison for the legislative and CASA committees, and whereas Mr. Huber held uppermost the welfare of our students in his decisions and served with great skill and dedication, and whereas his service on the board has brought him the respect of his colleagues on the board, the administrative staff, and the teaching and support staff, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, on behalf of the grateful community, publicly acknowledges and expresses its sincerest appreciation to Mr. Huber for his outstanding contributions to the West Milford Township Public School District, and be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the workshop regular meeting of the Board of Education of December 18th, 2018, and present it to Mr. Glenn Huber.
Okay, we do need a motion, right?
I'd like to make a motion to approve
Yeah.
that resolution that was just read.
And a second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve the students and the citizens of West Milford.
Thank you for the time that you've given to the school district. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you.
So do you read that? Do we
Next
need-
one?
Yeah, we need another,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the following resolution about Mr. Bailey's.
Mr. Animo, you read that, I guess?
Do you want me to read it?
Do you want to read
I'll
it?
read it.
Sure.
You have a second?
All right. Give me a second. All right. Whereas Mr. Gregory Bailey served as a prominent member of the West Milford Township Board of Education for 22 years, from January 1996 until December 2018. And whereas Mr. Bailey has been the longest-serving member of the West Milford Board of Education. And whereas Mr. Bailey has diligently chaired and served on the Budget and Finance Committee. And whereas Mr. Bailey held upmost the welfare of our students in his decisions and served with great skill and dedication. And whereas his service on the board has brought him the respect of his colleagues on the board, the administrative staff, and the teaching and support staff. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education, on behalf of the grateful community, publicly acknowledges and expresses its sincerest appreciation to Mr. Bailey for his outstanding contribution to the West Milford Township Public School District, and be it resolved that this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the workshop regular meeting of the Board of Education of December 18th, 2018, and presented to Mr. Bailey.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I just want to make a statement about Mr. Bailey because I probably served half of that time with Mr. Bailey on the board, and I'm greatly going to miss him. He is a unique personality who people may not understand from the perspective of the camera, but he had always put West Milford students above all. He gave countless hours to this district. I still see him hanging there on that pole that they had the picture of in the paper, and I thought it was a wonderful statement on the father that he is, that his children put that letter in the paper, because he is genuinely a loving man who maybe some of us don't know quite well, but I want to say thank you to him for all those years of service and the many arguments that we had, that we could still come together afterwards and respect each other. So I wish him well, and I totally appreciated the time that I spent with him.
Yes. Ms. Van Dyke, I'd like to add and echo your comments. On behalf of the central office staff, Dr. McQuaid, Ms. Francisco, Mr. Novak, myself, the administrative team in West Milford, as well as the faculty and staff. If you're watching, Mr. Bailey, thank you very much for almost a quarter century of service to the Board of Education and to the children of this community. So thank you again.
Under new business, is there any other new business? Mr. Seidowitz?
Last year, I brought up flags being lit at night, and we received a report, and I would strongly urge that the administration revisit some of those flags. I can identify them in an email, but I wanted to bring that up publicly.
Thank you. They're supposed to be lit. Any other new business?
If there's nothing else, I'd like to take a few-minute point of privilege, being it's my last few minutes.
Sure.
Coming into the next year, you're going to be moving into the year with a civil but somewhat divided board. And I hope that there are a few things that the board members may embrace doing that can would help with that. Okay? I think communication is something that will be a big help. And simple things like returning a fellow board member's phone call promptly, hearing them out, even if you don't agree. My experience is when I've discussed things with colleagues and friends, even if we don't come to an understanding that we agree with each other, usually both of us have adjusted our idea of, the topic a little bit. And that little bit sometimes makes a big difference. Even if you don't agree with a person, if you understand how they're thinking about something, maybe you'll respect their opinion as opposed to just denigrating it. Okay? So these kinds of things, even if you don't come out and you agree with the other person or the other person doesn't agree with you, it can still be positive. Okay? I would encourage that the next president be somebody who can bridge gaps, encourages open discussion, and the kind of communications I was just mentioning. And that's it. That's it. Really, just if you guys can collegially have discussion, you don't have to agree. You can still be friends if you don't agree. It doesn't have to be, loggerheads or anything like that. Okay? But it'll go a long way toward making the board experience more enjoyable and for you guys making better decisions for the students. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other new business? Mr. Sidowitz?
Over the past year, I feel that we truly need a necessity of understanding at least foundational principles of Robert's Rules. Nothing archaic, but there are things that we should really entrust our debate to because it will make it smooth and make that collegial goal more of a promise that's fulfilled. Something that I suggest, and I'll be quick with this, makers of a motion reserve the first opportunity to speak. I think we can exhibit that. Also, if we want to extend or limit debate, we have the opportunity to do that by making the motion to extend or limit debate and then creating a format where we can discuss matters beyond that. To call the question requires that a member calls a motion for the previous question, and then we could vote to close debate in that regard. We've all been at fault for this, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but when somebody asks a question to another person, the only people who should be speaking are that person that asked the question and the person that the question is being directed to. Instead, I think all of us want to share our infinite wisdom in matters and just kind of jump in. Motions definitely need to be restated, in my humble opinion. I do believe that even if you disagree with the motion, it should be seconded, just for the purpose of discussion. Doesn't mean you have to agree with what the motion is, because you can always withdraw that second, but we need to have that debate. By not seconding the motion, to me, seems disrespectful, and I think it takes away from the ability of hearing different points of view, or challenging your own, or challenging somebody else's. Discussions and speeches that are made before a motion are improper under Robert's Rules, which is why seconding a motion is so important. That way, somebody can have the right to give their speech and give their opinions on a motion that they make. And during the course of the year, somebody asked if we could do straw polling. Can't do straw polling, but Robert's Rules does afford us the ability to go into a committee of the whole, which would be a committee format, and then we could discuss it, show of hands, and then go back into a regular meeting, which are all things that I'd love to talk about further, but I think we need to exhibit these types of fundamentals in order for discourse to be more collegial and more productive. And that's all I have to say on that.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Seeing none, I'd like to close new business.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comments. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be first with 5 minutes for each speaker for a period of 30 minutes, and then time permitting, other public comment limited to 5 minutes per speaker will be allowed until the 30-minute time period transpires. All speakers are asked to give their full name, spell their last name, and provide their address. Speakers may not use the name of students during public comment. Anyone wishing to speak? If not, we need a
Seeing none, I'd
motion.
like to close public comments.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Executive session, we need a motion. Carrie, you wanna?
At 8:58 PM.
No action.
8:50.
850.
Oh, 8:50.
Oh, 8:50, I'm sorry. At 8:50, I move to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel, and no action will be taken. Well, that's it, right? No action will be taken.
So will we adjourn from executive session?
You certainly could.
Right?
Okay, we
So-
will adjourn from executive
Yeah.
session.
Okay, with no.
Second.
All those in, is that that's a roll call vote, I'm sorry.
That's a voice vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Roll call vote.
We return,
We're gonna
and then.
We're going to adjourn from executive session. We can just do it in there, can't we?
Jacket in the car.
We've done it before. I've done it before, too.
Okay. Okay. Charles, to see you around.
Mixed feelings about it.
I bet.
My Christmas break project is started. I'll take out whatever.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. And if we could have a moment of silence, please. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, a public notice of this meeting has been sent to board members, all district schools, the Herald News, the Trends, the Record, the Messenger, West Milford Town Hall, the County Superintendent's Office, the Board Attorney, and Cablevision of Warwick, and posted in the Administration Building. Copies of the board meeting calendar resolution were provided to all local media, Town Hall, Township Library, and all district schools. Roll call, Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Bailey? Mr. Seidowitz? Mr. Drew?
Here.
Mrs. Dwyer? Here. Mr. Guarino?
Here.
Mrs. Fritz?
Here.
Mr. Huber?
Here.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Here.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Here. Dr. Annemeyer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our December meeting. As you can see, we're getting the entire band back together. To my left, Dr. McQuaid, her first meeting back from leave, so welcome back. We miss you dearly. On with the superintendent's report, we had our annual on-site decision day last week in the high school. Just to refresh everybody's memory, this is a day where colleges and universities, 2-year and mostly 4-year colleges, come to the library and our children apply and receive a decision on the spot. So our numbers that we have, this is the largest on-site decision day we've had yet, so it's grown every year. If you were going to chart this, it would look like lower left to upper right, a straight arrow up on the diagonal. We had 235 appointments this year. That's not necessarily 235 students, but some students had multiple appointments. We had 115 students participate, and we had 183 students accepted. So we had more acceptances than students applied because some students were accepted to multiple universities. We had 0 students denied, although we do have 48 pending, and that's typically just some paperwork that's missing from the process. So that 183 acceptances should grow to well over 200 once this paperwork comes in over the next couple of days or weeks. Scholarships received from students that very day ranged up to $24,000. So thank you to our guidance department, and obviously congratulations to our senior class. It's a wonderful group. You all know what they do athletically. This is what they can do academically, so we're very proud of them. Speaking of seniors, we have a winner of the 2018-19 National Girls and Women in Sports Award. Congratulations to one of our students. She will be awarded in February, along with other fine student athletes from across the state of New Jersey. We are very proud of her. She is a 3-year letter winner in field hockey and girls lacrosse, and also a captain in field hockey. She was named first team Passaic County and first team all-conference this fall. The National Girls and Women in Sports Award is given to one female student athlete at each school in New Jersey and across the nation. Congratulations to Kelsey Murphy. And moving right along, this is not on my report, but I'm going to add it now. We do have, I know I shared an article with you a few weeks ago. We do have one of our alumnus, Nicolette D'Angelo, here tonight. She's a 2015 graduate of West Milford High School. She's currently a senior at Princeton University. She was one of 32 students in America who was named an American Rhodes Scholar a few weeks ago. Her mother just dropped off a nice plaque that we're going to hang up proudly in the board office. If we can get a zoom in on this. And those of you who plan on visiting the board office will see this right as soon as you walk in, the first available spot. And if we don't have space, we'll move something else out. So, congratulations, Nicolette. Would you like to come up and say a few words?
Thank you so much. I remember I was the student liaison 4 years ago, so it's surreal to be back, especially for this reason. But it's definitely the case that everything I've done so far is because of this amazing school district. I can't thank especially enough the faculty and staff of UGL, Macapin, and WMHS. This is an excellent quality of education that has inspired a lifelong love of learning for me, and will follow me in everything I do, especially at Oxford in the next few years. So thank you so much for everything you guys do to make that possible for everyone in West Milford.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And just to repeat, that's 32 students in the entire country that won this award. So congratulations again. And lastly, our monthly progress towards district goals. We have a couple updates, 2 academic, 1 more managerial. We spoke briefly a few months ago, I suppose, about the ID card readers that our students have at the high school, and they've worn them as ID badges for a while now. Now we have the ability to scan in and out of classrooms, bathrooms, etc. Parents can now check on the real-time app or on the website, on the parent portal, not just their students' grades and discipline, but also their swiping in and out. So we now take attendance at the high school, at least, with swipe cards. There's a laptop on a desk right when you walk into the classrooms, as well as right outside the boys and girls bathroom. So it's been a big help, but it really speeds up the start of each class. And our 2 academic updates. We have recently finished our second administration of the STAR math assessment. That's for students in grades 2 through 8. And we did our first administration of Fontes and Pinnell benchmark reading assessment for students in grades 1st through 6th. Our kindergartners will take the assessment shortly after the new year. So the STAR Math is given up to 4 times per year, just to refresh your memories. The Fontes and Pinnell is a twice-a-year administration, fall and spring for students in grades 1 to 6, winter and spring for kindergartners. We give them a couple more weeks and months to get acclimated to the new school year. So we're well on our way there. We look to review that data with our principals and our data teams at each school. And next up, representative report, Ms. Murphy.
Okay, so I have a few things that have been going on in our school. First off, I wanted to mention Evan LeMay and Matt Hoffman. They're 2 high school seniors, and with the help of the school and the community, they brought wreaths across America to 3 cemeteries within our town. It's an organization with the mission of remembering our veterans, honoring their lives, and teaching their sacrifices. So congratulations to those boys on a successful event. This was a beautiful way of showing gratitude during the holiday season. Way to go, boys, for putting it all together. Also, the boys varsity basketball team held a toy drive during their home opener against Mawa. They were able to get the Highlander herd involved and collect a numerous amount of toys to donate to Toys for Tots, which is a program run by the United States Marine Corps Reserve, which distributes toys to children whose parents cannot afford to buy them gifts. We also just recently had the Fall Recognition Assembly, and the TV science classes put together a video to highlight some of the top moments this fall and recognize athletes and honor roll students. The high school band concert is going to be tomorrow, the 19th, at 7:30, and students will have this concert assembly in school on Friday, the 21st. And January 8th, the high school will be having Alumni Day, in which the alumni will come to the school and talk about their accomplishments and where they are now. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Novak.
Thank you. Before I introduce our Supervisor of Science and Industrial Arts, I wanted to take a moment just to recap on last week's event, which was our second annual Safe Night. I have a brief video that was prepared by Mr. Jordan of our TV science program at the high school, who was there to capture a little bit of the event in action. Just to give a little overview, we co-sponsored this event with West Milford CASA. We had approximately 240 registered participants, which is a combination of students and families, and we target those students in grades 5 through 8 to talk about substance awareness and empowerment strategies. Our focus this year was about being resilient and how to cope with struggles in our students and our family lives to prevent these types of outcomes. We had a great process in place where we were able to provide a whole group session for all of the parents in attendance with the West Milford Police Department to talk about current trends and current data for things that are going on in West Milford. This was also presentation was shared with our facilitator from West Milford CASA, Rebecca Stumpf, who was able to come and talk to all of our parents. So we had a great turnout. We closed with a keynote from Mr. Matt Bellis, who really likes to excite the crowd and do a good job with that. So some of the feedback we heard is a night that provided the real serious look at some of the things that our students and our families deal with in the community, as well as some hopeful potential outcomes and a little fun throughout the event. We had a wide range of donations supporting our community raffle. At the end of the event, we raffled off everything from Bubbling Springs weeks of camp for students, and we also had some ski passes. We had a lot of activities, alternatives to some of the problems that we see in our community. We had the North Jersey Guitar was there in representation. We donated raffles for guitar and guitar lessons. Yeah, so I'm getting there. Everyone's doing this. A lot of basketball fans in the house. So we did, interrupted. I'm sorry.
We just remembered that.
The Fast Break basketball camp, as well as all of our sports camps. So that wasn't just basketball; it was all of our sports camps, and we had a good representation of a nice, well-rounded activity selection for kids. So, without further ado, Mr. El Taib's going to roll it's a brief video to just give a little highlight of the event. So just a brief little video just to highlight the event. Again, I just want to say thank you for all the participants, all of our donors. As you can see at the end, we had a little recognition. This slideshow is going to be available on our website. There is a Safe Night link under district and also under for families. So if you want to take a look, you can see a little bit about the event. We also have some of our resources and our presentations there as well. Shifting gears, I would like to take a moment to welcome our Supervisor of Science and Industrial Arts. She is the second presentation in what is going to be many, with a monthly overview of our content areas. Last month we had a presentation by Mrs. Sharon West for English and Language Arts across the district, and today we're going to talk about science. Mrs. Majicic will be back again in the spring to present all of the great things we're doing in our industrial arts programs as well. So, Mrs. Majicic, all yours.
So I know that science really isn't a verb, just to follow up with English language arts. But I say that, I know. But I say that because science is changing significantly in how we teach it. It's become a much more active subject. So I just want to start off with this picture, kind of appropriate for this time of year, right? We all know what that is, right? It's ice.
Yep.
And I'm just going to just leave you with a little bit. I'll just let this sit here for a while. It's pretty cold in here, so this might not change at all, but we'll just kind of take a look at that. And we know a lot about ice, right? Especially we use it to cool our drinks. This time of year we worry about it on the roads. So it's a common subject for us, right? But it is also a phenomena that we talk about in science. So we'll let that sit for a minute. We'll come back to it. I just want to give you kind of an overview of how science is changing. So science education, when we all went to school, everybody here, because these changes are pretty new, we did a lot of memorization, a lot of vocabulary. If I said the word mitochondria, probably everybody in here would say, mighty mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. But we don't actually know what that means. We don't actually think all the way through to the idea that it's taking our food, it's breaking it down, it's making cellular energy in the form of ATP, because we memorized the vocabulary, but we didn't really embrace the vocabulary. And what we're seeing now as we move forward in this much more active, theme-based kind of approach is that students are really embracing and understanding the language. So on the left, we see students working with trout in the classroom, and they're really understanding the life cycle. On the right, they're doing different kinds of germination. In the top, we're looking at Wisconsin fast plants, where they've actually done pollination. On the bottom, we have germination. You can't see it well, but there are plastic bags hanging at different places with seedlings. And in the middle, we have gardening. So big shift in how we handle language. Ideas are connected to a phenomenon. So we have some really great volcanoes going here. Volcanoes are a staple of elementary science education, but the shift here is not so much the idea that we have the volcano, but whether or not that volcano could happen here in West Milford. And so students know they cannot, and they know they cannot because the question that they were out to answer was what kind of environment would be necessary for a volcano to occur, and whether or not we have those land structures here. One of the beautiful things, you see multiple volcano pictures here, that's in multiple different elementary schools. When I started in this position, one of the things that I was really determined to encourage to happen is that there would be consistency across the elementaries. So everybody has their flavor, that's kind of like their neighborhood flair and what makes them their neighborhood school, but there should be some common experiences for everybody. So everybody comes away understanding that we won't have volcanoes in West Milford. Everybody in kindergarten, every student has an experience with ladybugs. Every student in 6th grade grows Wisconsin fast plants. So we have some of these commonalities in their phenomena. Teaching equals guiding. So this was actually happening in a forensics class. Those splats that you're seeing are fake blood spots. And they were using math to determine where the person was, where they were probably hit, and how tall they were, et cetera, et cetera. And so in the top left corner, you see the teacher guiding the students. She laid out the process for how math is used in forensics, and then just stepped back and let the students kind of figure this out. And I was observing this, and the best moment for me was that aha moment when the students said, wow, this really works. It all ended up in the same spot. And I'm like, yes. So teaching, not so much up there standing, talking at the students, but getting them actively involved. Ooh. There's not always one right answer. So we're doing a lot of these problem-solving activities where students can get to the answer in different ways. Some of our units come from Engineering as Elementary from the Museum of Boston. Others are STEM activities that we've found, teachers have found, I've found, and we've kind of shared. But it encourages students to look at all the ways to solve a problem. And then one of our common threads from kindergarten through grade 12 is the claim, evidence, reason model. So it's not enough to come up with a solution, but to be able to explain why that's working. Give the evidence from your data or from your experience. Give the reasons from the information that you've gathered in studying that. In kindergarten and first and second grade, really it's just about making a claim and being able to use a little bit of your observation to support it, but we develop that over and over as we move up in the grades. Labs are not cookbook anymore. So once upon a time, you used to get the directions, do the lab, write out the data, answer the questions, hand it in, get your good grade. 6 months later, somebody asked you what you did. You probably wouldn't remember. You went through the motions. You did a really good job, but you didn't have that really deep understanding. So this is pill books, roly-polies. Everybody remember roly-polies from once upon a time under logs and stuff? Again, I just happened to be in one of the elementary schools when they were looking at them. I was walking by and I was like, yes, they were so excited, looking, observing, and then asking questions. What happens if we move the roly-poly here? How is that, if we change the environment, what does it do? And then collecting some data and then crunching some numbers. So starting to get some of that computational science and engineering practice in there as well. So worksheets, not really anymore. I say not really because there are handouts out there, but those are places where data is collected. We're really more interested in collecting data and making sense of that, so we tend to use science notebooks now more. The beauty of this is a lot of the things that are happening in Readers, Writers Workshop are mirrored in science notebooks. So students are using those same kinds of skills and processes. The difference sometimes is they don't think they're writing nonfiction when they're writing in a science notebook because it's science. So we kind of sneakily get that in there. But not really, again, no more of those lists of vocabulary and definitions. Those are gone. The worksheets that students do and don't necessarily process deeply, those are gone. We've really moved towards a deeper understanding. Maybe less topics, but if we do a few topics really well and there's deep understanding, that's far better than covering a whole lot and not coming away with much. So Science is for All Americans. Project 2061 came out in the 1980s when Halley's Comet came by, and the next time it would come by was in 2061, and that was kind of the impetus for the title for that particular piece, that document, that research, that kind of drove this whole movement towards changes in the standards. So this has been a long time coming. And the reason I bring it up now is because there was another inconsistency when I took over the job. Depending upon where you were in your learning and your learning challenges, you had different science experiences. And I feel really strongly that every student is entitled to grade level instruction, whatever grade that is. And so therefore, the class of 2023 will be the first one where every student will do biology as freshmen, chemistry as sophomores, physics as juniors. And we'll still have all of our large array of elective programs, our AP classes. Students can still take APs in junior and senior year, but this will provide everybody with those same experiences. It also ensures that we get a much wider breadth of the standards. Prior to this, students were getting a lot of physical science standards, not as many biological, or a lot of biological science standards and not as many physical. So we're leveling the playing field and making sure that everybody has this experience. I think a lot of what we do, kindergarten through 12, is getting tighter too. And some of that's been through targeted PD. The first year that I was here, we did kindergarten, first and second grade. Last year, we did third and fourth grade, and this year we're doing fifth and sixth grade. Down the road, we'll look to see if maybe we want to shift what we're doing in seventh and eighth grade to make it more integrated. That's a conversation for another day, but definitely kind of in my vision. So here we are. Does anybody recognize that? Yeah, that was this morning. We were out at St. Joseph Cemetery. It was blustery cold. Some students were dressed like teenagers do, you know, sweatshirts, and they were tough and cool. And I kept saying to them, I don't know. And they ended up on the bus earlier. And we were out there with environmental science classes. So St. Joseph Cemetery is large. It's old. It's the oldest Catholic parish in New Jersey. And so some of the tombstones date back to the early 1800s. So there's just a rich pile of data there that is ours for the mining. And so what we did was the AP Environmental Science class, some of the environmental science students, 2 teachers, and I all headed out early this morning. And students just very respectfully went from tombstone to tombstone and collected data. And the data they were collecting was male, female, data, year of birth, year of death. And in the past, again, the cookbook lab would be, here's all the data, crunch all that data, answer these questions, and move on. But instead, these students are looking at this as so many stories about what's happened over time and how can this data help us to see this story. And so they collected data in different pockets. Tomorrow they'll all dump it into a common Google sheet where they can all look at that data and start sorting it and start graphing it and then start asking the important questions and use that to drive their research and instruction. And I have to say that not everybody was sold on this idea when we were pulling out of the parking lot this morning, but when we came back an hour later, they all agreed that it was a really great experience. And of course, we got rid of some of those creepy misnomers about cemeteries while we were there. Okay, so now back to your ice. So you're looking at your ice in front of you, right? Has it changed? Probably not. It's cold in here. It's freezing in here. It might have changed. It might have gone the other way. So if it was a little bit warmer, what would have happened to your ice?
Melt.
Would have started to melt, right? And so that has to do with a change in energy. Now, ice is a common theme that we see all through the standards. Not ice itself, but the phenomena that occurs. In second grade, students will look at this ice, and they'll see that it's changed from a solid to a liquid. They don't even need to talk about gas. It's second grade. But just the fact that it went from solid to liquid, and then we'll ask them, well, can we change that back again? And if we can, how would you propose that we do that? Let's give that a test. In fourth grade, we start to talk about energy transferring from place to place. Simple things, heat energy. In fifth grade, we're looking at what's happening to those atoms and the law of conservation of matter. But we're not calling it the law of conservation of matter. We're talking about what happens when it melts. Is the mass the same or did it change? When we get into 6th, 7th, 8th grade, now we're starting to talk about particles. What are those particles doing? 9th through 12th grade, it gets much more sophisticated. Now we're talking about how uniform these things are, what affects these particles. So just to give you some examples, in second grade, melting and cooling. In 4th or 5th grade, looking at transfer. In 8th grade, they do the penguin shelters where they're looking at how to keep their penguin from melting, and they're looking at transfer of heat. We all know that ice melts, but do we know why ice melts? And this is where the idea starts to really crystallize. Excuse the pun. But it's not that the ice is making the area cooler, it's that the heat from the area is being transferred to the ice and causing it to change phase. So if it wasn't so cold in here, I'd ask you to hold that ice in your hand and see if the ice would be making your hand freeze, or if your hand would be making the ice melt, and your hand would be making the ice melt. In high school, in one of the chemistry classes right now, they were talking about ions, and the teacher took the perspective of salt, road salt, how that's affecting ice, and then they started talking about brining. So that, the brining that they're now doing on the roads. So a practical application. So these phenomena are not necessarily these big, aha, that's so cool, but everyday things that are in your life. Okay. So last but not least, I just want to thank you always for all of your support in everything science. The greenhouses are almost done. They're looking fabulous. We're excited and can't wait for them to be up and running. We have a Science Olympiad team going out in January to compete. We have a middle school and a high school team. Last year we came home with medals, so we're really excited to go back again and hopefully get a little more hardware there. Our robotics team will be going out competing in January and again in February. Our Science National Honor Society did a fabulous job with their Full Steam Ahead program for elementary students last spring. They'll be doing that again this spring. And we used to have a tech meet every year at UGL that was just at UGL. Last year, Maple Road did an iteration of that they called the Science Showdown. And I think this year, I know this year, all of the other elementary schools are going to embrace that. It's kind of a little bit of a Science Olympiad model and do the same events in each of their schools. Hopefully down the road, we'll be competing amongst ourselves within district once they've done it in their schools. So we have a lot of great things moving forward, and that's really largely because of all of your support as we're doing these things. So thank you. And does anybody have any questions for me? Well.
First, thank you for your passion. You always do come here and bring a lot of your love of science to the table, so thank you. My question for you is, has the science department discussed physics first as an initiative? Because over the past few years, it was just a topic that I hear a lot of, and it just piqued my interest.
So yes, when we were considering biochem physics or physics chem bio, those are there were 4 models out there that we looked at, and we looked long and hard. This is a year-long decision, so even though I kind of spun it out in 30 seconds, it was really a lot of research and conversation. The 4 models we saw were biochem physics, physics chem bio, biochem, a choice of physics and environmental science, or bio, and then a choice of chem, physics, environmental science. And so the reason we went with biochem physics is we do a very math-based physics program. Our college prep physics is algebra-based. Our honors physics is pre-calc trig honors integrated. And that's because our AP physics, we do AP Physics C, which is mechanics and some piece of electricity and magnetism, and that's calculus-based. And so we feel that our programs have been really successful in what we were doing, and so we wanted to keep that in place. I have heard of districts that did physics, chem bio, and they have found that their bio has been very successul or has been stronger as a result of that. But we just felt what we had in place was working well for our students in terms of physics. And so what we're adding is a conceptual physics for students who might be a little intimidated by the math component. And then for our replacement classes, we will have a replacement physics. We currently have a replacement chemistry this year, and we're having fabulous success with that.
Excellent, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Can they take the rice home?
Put it
in their pocket?
I'll take it out of there.
Thank you again.
I know it's a lot to absorb, but if you just want to remember one sentence, in the future, this new initiative will have more students at the high school taking higher level science classes. That's sort of the one piece you could take away from this presentation, is in the future, we'll have more students at the high school taking higher level sciences than we currently have. So we're excited about that.
Is that the end of your report? Okay, special reports and correspondence. Mrs. Francisco, we have 2 sets of minutes.
Yes, we have the minutes from the November 13th meeting, regular and executive session.
So I need a motion
I'd like to make a motion to approve the following Board of Education meeting minutes, November 13th, 2018 workshop regular meeting, November 13th, 2018 executive session.
Does anybody have any comment comment on the minutes? Okay, voice vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain because I was not here.
I abstain also.
Oh, okay, thank you. We'll move on to the president's report. Well, everybody touched on everything I was going to say tonight. I did want to comment on the Safe Night. It was a very informative presentation. I hope that next year we can have some more people turn out. I think that the parents really got a lot out of the presentation in the cafeteria with the police department and with Rebecca. There were a lot of issues that, a lot of information given that night that I think some parents were not aware of, and I think it was just very, very informative. I look forward to it again next year. The Wreaths Across America, it's just a wonderful job that those two young men did, and I know that they had extra wreaths that they wound up putting at Presbyterian on, I think, almost all the stones. You were there, right, Tara?
Yeah, I attended the Wreaths Across America along with Miss Swartz from Westbrook and Mr. Stryans from the high school. And what they did with the extra wreaths was they had them sent to a cemetery in Maryland. And the ceremony was a military ceremony, which was extremely touching. We started off with a gun salute, taps. Our band, our pipers were there. They played Amazing Grace. There was not a dry eye to be found. We visited the 3 cemeteries. The organization was extremely happy with our donation of the 2 buses. The reception later was so well received that I think next year it might have to be moved out of the firehouse into a bigger venue. It was just moving, and the wreaths were beautiful, and those 2 boys are just saints. They will both be going into the military after their graduation, and we should be proud of them and proud of their parents. I mean, just stand-up people, good people.
I said if I had to pick 2 sons, I would pick those 2. But it was.
We'll have sons.
Also, I just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays, and look forward to the start of the new year. Hopefully, everything will be good and well for everyone in the new year. I go on to public comment. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be first with 5 minutes for each speaker for a period of 30 minutes, and then time permitting, other public comment limited to 5 minutes per speaker will be allowed until the 30-minute time period transpires. All members of the public speaking during public comment are asked to address topics listed in the agenda. All speakers are asked to give their full name, spell their last name, and provide their address. Speakers may not use the names of students during public comment. Has anybody signed up? Would anyone like to speak this evening? Okay.
My name is Tamara Jordan. I live in West Milford. I just want to give a shout out to Glenn Huber. I could say that, right?
Sure. Okay. Say whatever you want.
I know with the names and stuff. I just wanted to say thank you very much for everything that you have done for our children and for the parents. And we're sure going to miss you. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? If not, I need a motion.
Seeing none, I'd like to close public comments.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Before we move on, just want to make one amendment to the agenda. Personnel Resolution number 2.
Page number?
page number 7,
Seven.
Thank
Personnel,
you.
Student Affairs, Resolution number 2. After it says January 31st, 2019, it should add comma, for the purpose of retirement, period. Thank you.
Okay, so then we need a motion to accept the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the agenda as
Second.
presented.
Second.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay, budget and finance. Steve, would you like to do that, please?
Sure, okay. I'd like to move items 1 through 6, please.
Second.
Discussion?
I would
Mr.
just like,
Huber?
I'd just like to say thank you to Karen Johnson for donating the automobile to the auto shop.
Yes.
That's it. It's very nice. Thank you.
Anything else? Go ahead.
I have a question. What's the annual amount of item number 2?
It's about 5%.
No, I mean the annual,
Oh,
we're
the-
leasing this over 5 years. What's the,
It's actually a 42-month period. So, I'm not, we're leasing it over 42 months. The annual
interest, imputed interest?
is about
5%.
is about 5%.
So you're not sure what the annual, I guess I could do that in my head.
It's about 5% per year, but it's a 3.5-year loan.
Okay. And my wife would sure like me to donate some of my vehicles, so. I'll consider that. I didn't know we could do that.
Any other discussion? If not, Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz, Mr. Drew,
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz,
No to 3, yes to the remainder.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
I'm going to abstain on 5 and yes to the rest.
I'd like to move item number 7, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. Fritz,
Yes.
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. Drew,
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Abstain?
Mr. Seidowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
I'd like to move item number 8.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mr. Drew,
Abstain.
Mr. Seidowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
I'd like to move item number 9.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Greeno,
Abstain.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mr. Drew,
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
I abstain.
I'd like to move item number 10.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
I have a quick question. I thought we were required by law to provide the annual summary for the previous fiscal year by the end of this year? What is the status of
Statutorily, it's
that?
supposed to be by December 5th that it's supposed to be completed, but the GASB requirements are not done yet. The state hasn't provided them, so everything has now been postponed until January. So we don't have the annual audit because the state has held it up.
But we do expect we'll have, so we still don't have the GASB requirements?
No.
So we may or may not have these in January either?
We're hoping to have it for the January meeting. We have the presentation set up for January at this point, but we don't know, no one knows whether or not we're going to have everything to complete the audit. And then once they do get those numbers, they're going to have to come back out and test the
Yep.
things that they tested during the summer.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Abstain?
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
I'd like to move item number 11.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz? Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes. Thank you, Steve. Mrs. Dwyer, can you do education, please?
I'd like to move items 1 through 8 for approval, discussion and approval.
Second.
Any discussion under education? If not, oh, I'm sorry, do you have something?
I thought I did. No, I don't.
Anyone else?
I thought I did.
Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes. Personnel?
I'd like to move item 1 through 33 under Personnel Student Affairs.
Second.
Discussion?
I'm good.
Okay.
On number 1, Mrs. Donna Joyce Tynan, I would like to thank her for her many years of service in our district and her many years of dedication to the students in this district. And also Mary Ann Ferrioli. Both these people will be missed, and I think the board, speaking for the board, we thank them for their service to our children.
Thank you. Will?
Item number 30. I am uncomfortable with saying yes to a GSA Macapin. I think that the age is too young for a teacher to be speaking with 12 to 14-year-olds about sexuality matters. So I will be voting no on that.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Just like to thank the volunteers in number 33 that are going to be helping with the student activity programs. Dance team, color guard, baseball, mountain bike club, ice hockey, and lacrosse.
Anyone else? Steve?
Briefly, I'd like to thank Mr. Altaib for his service to the district. I think he did a good job of implementing quite a number of changes in relation to item 6. Item 17, I don't know this person. I assume it's pronounced Pacione, but I always like to see people get more education, so way to go.
Anyone else? Okay, Terry, you stole what I was going to say because I've known Donna and Mary for many years, and they've been an asset to our district, and appreciate their service. I hope they have a wonderful retirement and look forward to seeing them, but they will be missed. And also Bonnie Spooner for her many years of service, too. So, Mrs. Francisco, roll call?
One more thing.
Oh.
I would like to welcome Robert Winston to our district. He will be replacing Bard, and he seems like a very dedicated and informed individual. Very happy about that. So I'd like to welcome him. I don't know if he's here.
I don't think so. Go ahead, Mrs. Francisco.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
No to 30, yes to the remainder.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
I'm going to abstain on 25 and yes to the rest. Okay, committees. Mr. Guarino, Parks and Rec, any meetings?
Yeah, just a couple quick things. The work on DeVinzo Field's been done. Park looks great, so again, tough time to go visit the park, but you take a ride over there, things look great. They are planning on reinvesting into resurfacing the Farrell Fields. So we do have a grant, so it's a $250,000 total from the state. So some of that work will begin, of course, once spring comes. And then there'll be no meeting in December, which was supposed to be this Thursday. We'll figure most people will go out shopping and finish up their last minute holiday shopping.
The new park at Nunzio Pond, they have a dog park there? I just read that. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I didn't know, I just read it.
I'll have to go check that out then. Great.
Yes.
Can I make a brief comment? I know that we obtained quite a bit of money through the Highlands Council, and I think actually those people are doing an outstanding job. And I don't know if you know Carl Richko or not, but I would highly encourage you to talk to him, because I think maybe there's a way to coordinate between the town, the school board, and the Highlands Council to see if we can't finally set aside a block of land that can be used as the park complex that we're looking for in town. It just seems like there's an opportunity, and Carl is exactly the guy who's got the enthusiasm and the ear of the legislature to maybe help us do that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mr. Drew, piggybacking on that, Mr. Richko was a member of the Board of Education for many, many years. He was also mayor of the community, so he knows the community, he knows the school district, and as you said, he knows the legislator. And it would be an asset for us to contact him. I agree with you 100%.
Any other discussion? Nothing? Okay. Safety, there's no meeting this month, right? We don't have a safety meeting. Superintendent's roundtable.
Okay, the first thing that the parents were concerned about was the visitation day that was going to happen 2 days later, and I don't know if it was addressed to have morning and afternoon sessions available, especially at Marshall Hill. Were you able to do that?
It went up, that was the snow day we had, that storm that
That's
Friday.
right. Oh, okay.
We were snowed out.
Okay, the roof at Maple Road was a concern. It was explained that the work would be done at night and weekends, and the kids, it would not interfere with the kids. I guess there was a little bit of a problem, but that problem has been addressed. The parents want the COGAT testing of resource students to be left to the decision of those parents. They're afraid that makeup dates would lead to extra days out of school for those who missed the test. Dr. Anamone explained that there was a misunderstanding and the use of the test is going to be reevaluated. Safe night was discussed, and the district calendar was discussed, and it was explained that it was posted on the district role website. There are still some safety issues with the PK voting that they're concerned with. Dr. Anamone explained that the county is going to visit the Freedom Church in January for the possible change of location for the voting. There were questions about Camp Vacanus's district-wide sixth grade field trip. It needs to be looked at in the future, especially since CASA can no longer offer Bubbling Springs beach parties for the incoming sixth graders. And the next meeting is Thursday, the 20th.
This week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Dwyer. The Passaic County School Boards, the meeting was canceled in November. I haven't gotten anything for December yet, so. New Jersey School Boards, I don't have anything.
I went to delegate
Oh,
assembly.
you did go to delegate assembly, go ahead.
They didn't have any motions to pass that day. However, they went over the Department of Education's Path to Progress report, and discussed was our state's poor financial stability due to our public employee pension and health benefits